Hello, humans. So I keep trying to make this video, but I never end up liking it. So I just end up deleting it or just completely avoiding it and ignoring it. And I'm gonna try not to do that. I'm gonna try not to do that this time. So someone on my TikTok told me to talk about how I first got into shifting, and I'm gonna do that. Cause funny thing is, I started off not thinking that it was real. Big shocker. I think we were all a little flabbergasted, a little bit in disbelief when we first heard about this. Who wouldn't be? But it started on TikTok in late 2020. I was just scrolling along, and then I heard this person talking on my For You page about reality shifting, and I'm like, that's interesting. Probably not real, though. And then I kept seeing it pop up on my For You page. And I'm like, well, I might as well give that shit a try. I was turned into a believer in 2 seconds. I was turned into a believer in like 2 to 5 seconds. Because I laid my ass down on the floor like a dumbass. And was like, yeah, I'm gonna shift. And I did. And then I scared the shit out of myself. Because I have a habit of accidentally shifting into horror realities. And just scary ass places. I'm gonna cut out like the little spaces of silence, but yeah, I have a habit of shifting into horror realities, and it's a little wild. It's a little crazy because, bro, I ended up shifting, and I know that I shifted because in my dreams, I know how things should feel, but I can't actually feel them. And like shifting feels like you're there. Like it feels like this. Like how we exist here, it feels exactly like that over in other realities. It's a little funny. I know that I shifted because of that. But I was like in a weird in-between state where like I could tell what was happening here and also know what was happening over there, and it was weird. It was a really weird state of being. And I know that sounds really weird and crazy, but like trust me on this one, please. And this fucking thing kept getting near me, and I swear to God, to this day, this is the exact reason I cannot shift while awake. I did it once and scared the piss out of myself, and now I, like, subconsciously can't do... Well, I could. But subconsciously, I'm like, what if it happens again? What if I end up back there, and it gets me? But, like, this thing kept getting closer to me. And it was fucking creepy. I'm like, no, I need to go home. I need to go home now. And immediately after I said that, I fucking sat up here. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Did I do it? I think I did it. And I know it wasn't a dream because my dreams aren't like that. Not even my nightmares are like that. And it felt completely real. Like, I could feel the wind. I could physically feel the wind and the grass beneath me. I could smell the forest. Listen, if you don't believe me, I can't even blame you. Okay, I wouldn't even believe me. But, so then I really started getting into shifting. Because I'm like, well, that was a wild experience. How can I avoid that? I need to do a little bit of research. And I did. And TikToks kept appearing on my For You page. And that's how I started with the shifting community. And, like, at first I was quietly enjoying the content. And then I got more into My Hero. And I'm like, I want to shift to My Hero Academia. Because I saw people shifting to anime, and I'm like, I want to shift to My Hero. And that's exactly what I did. And the first few times I mini-shifted were a little bit wild. They were a little bit wild because the very first time I mini-shifted, I got in there while something spicy was happening. Something spicy was happening. It was. The second time I mini-shifted was another instance with Aizawa, actually. I woke up to my alarm clock, and he's like, good girls get up to their alarm. And my dumb ass said, I'm a bad bitch. I'm going back to sleep. And I went back to sleep, and I woke up here, and I'm like, you fucking idiot. You were right there. You were right there, and you decided to go back to sleep. And you decided to come back here? Girl. Yeah, that shit was a little wild. It didn't take me very long. And I kind of was a bit irresponsible and kind of used it as, like, a coping mechanism for my depression and a way to avoid my college work. Anyway, that kind of, like, really confirmed it for me. I like to gaslight myself. Even now, I like to gaslight myself about whether or not I've really shifted. Like, I know that it happened, but, like, it's a little bit unbelievable. I'm like, did I really? And then the friends that I group shift with are like, you idiot. You jackass. We literally shift together. You were there. You literally remember what we did. Shut up. I am getting off topic. I'm trying to think whether or not I want to, like, go forward and talk about my first few experiences actually shifting. I don't remember much because I left really quickly, which apparently that's a common occurrence with people who are, like, who have just shifted. Like, they shift, they stay there for, like, not that long, and then they come back because it's just a really crazy ass experience to actually be there, and it's a lot. It's very overwhelming, very overstimulating. So if you end up shifting and you decide to immediately come home, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I've done it. Plenty of other people have done it. Because it's a crazy experience, and sometimes you just need to take a second to process everything that just happened and the fact that you really just did that. Which you can do that. I believe in you. Yeah, I think I am going to talk about my first few experiences with shifting. Because that shit was crazy. I had a stalker. Hawks was my stalker. You know, apparently he's a stalker in a lot of people's DRs, and I think that's hilarious. It wasn't anything too bad, at least not for me, but when I first got there, like, fully, I looked around and I'm like, holy shit, I did it. I did it. And I, like, had gained consciousness in the middle of the city. Like, I was standing on the sidewalk, looking around. I'm like, holy shit. I actually managed to do it. I'm here right now. That's awesome. And I looked over and, like, at the time, I was, like, a really big Hawk simp. I still kind of am. He's hot. I saw Hawks, and he was surrounded by, like, women. And I'm like, damn, okay. He looks a little busy being a playboy. So I'm just gonna go bother Aizawa. I'm gonna go find Aizawa and bother him. I didn't get that far. All of a sudden, I hear the flapping of wings. These girls like, oh, there he goes. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess Hawks left to go do some hero work. Wrong, bitch. Wrong. Because this motherfucker lands right in front of me. Thunk. Whoosh. Made me bust my ass. All I remember is seeing a flash of red feathers before I just busted my ass. And I'm like, what the hell? And this motherfucker has the audacity to be looking down at me and be like, you need a hand? You need a... Bro, I left. That was when I left. That was too much. That. How are you gonna make me bust my ass and then have the audacity to ask if I need a hand? Yeah, bitch. Yeah, I do. Not from you. Yeah, I left. I took a break for so long. Because I needed a whole week to even begin to process that shit. Do you need a hand? Oh, I'm going back to my reality, motherfucker. When I decided that, okay, I'm ready to go back, I failed quite a few times. Mostly because I ended up falling asleep, but like, I decided, yeah, I'm just gonna start using sleeping methods. Because the first time I shifted was by accident, and it was through a sleeping method. I don't really use methods. I'm just like, yeah, I'm shifting tonight, and then I do it. So I ended up going back there after many failures. And I ended up, like, gaining consciousness in an alleyway. And I'm like, why the fuck am I in an alleyway? What the fuck is my clone doing? What is my clone doing in a goddamn alleyway? In an alleyway at night? Outside at night? We're obviously the same person, but clearly we are very different, because you would never catch me outside at night. On the streets at night, girl. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, well, I always go there intending that I'm safe, and I have protagonist luck, so I should be fine. I was, but I was perfectly fine. But tell me why a red feather just... Ooh, hold on, do I have a red feather still? Fucking... Ooh. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? Was that a red feather? And I look up, and there's Hawks watching me from the rooftops. And I'm like, what the fuck? And this motherfucker drops down. Almost makes me bust my ass again. I'm like, can you stop fucking doing that shit? Stop. And then, like, I hadn't figured out what my quirk was, because I don't script. I can't script. And what I mean by that is when I do script, either nothing comes true, nothing that I put down happens, or it does the complete opposite. But that's how it works for me, for some reason, because the universe hates my ass. And it wants issues for me. Clearly, with all the bullshit I get myself into unintentionally, clearly the universe wants issues for me. This motherfucker goes, aren't you that chick who disappeared? Who, like, teleported away? Apparently, I have a teleporting quirk. Apparently, I had a teleporting quirk over there. That bitch skedaddled. Me too. Me too, bitch. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you got a name? Tell him my name. Cool. I'm like, why the fuck were you watching me? Why were you watching me? And he's like, oh, that's my cue to leave. That's for me to know and you to not find out. And then he flies away. And then he flew away. What is your issue? Why are you just flying? I asked you a question. Answer the question. Why were you watching me? That's suspicious. That's weird. And then I decided that was too much for me. And I'm like, I'm gonna go home now because that was a lot. That was a little much. So I came back here to my original reality and I'm like, okay, cool. That happened. And it was around that time where I decided, I could start making shifting content. And so I did. I like that my shit is entertaining to y'all. I'm glad you think I'm funny. I think I'm funny too sometimes. But I went back there again. Like an idiot. And I ended up gaining consciousness on the street. Like, at least that's what I remember. And I look around, I'm like, okay, cool. And Hawks was behind me. Stalker. And you know what? My dumbass still went to dinner with him. My dumbass still went home with him. I went home with this motherfucker. It wasn't even good. But anyway, this motherfucker was behind me. And he snuck up on me and he's like, hey. I'm like, What the fuck? Why do you keep following me? He's like, that doesn't matter. You want to go to dinner? You want to go to dinner with me? I just got off my shift. You want to go to dinner? I'm like, why the fuck not? Nothing bad happened. But like, I'm dumb. I'm kind of stupid sometimes. That could have been very bad, very, very easily. This man was like, yeah, I know this really nice local place that we can go to. And I'm like, oh, I love eating local, gotta support local businesses. Like a good Samaritan. Dragged me off to this local business. The food was really good. Now, my autistic ass gets chicken every time. Chicken tenders every time. It's safe. It's safe for the most part. Generally speaking, you can't really fuck up chicken tenders. Like, something. The fuck did he get? He got something. As you do when you're getting dinner with somebody. But ended up getting a little tipsy. And we were talking all throughout dinner. We were really vibing. We were clicking. It was fine. It was nice. And then he asked me to go back to the nest with him. He calls his fucking house the nest. I went home with a man that called his home. I went home with a man. Got a little freaky. Which, I will tell that story on my Patreon. So, unless I already have, I don't think I've told that story on Patreon. It was disappointing. And that's all I'm gonna say for now. I came back after that. I was like, yeah, that's fucking crazy, bro. That's crazy, man. I had finally figured out, I'm like, hey, I don't think awake methods are gonna work for me. What if I just go to bed thinking, yeah, I'm gonna shift, and it works every time? For me, it works every fucking time, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. This is cool. I did it. But it's a foolproof thing for me. I don't know about everybody else, but for me, it works. But at some point, I was like, wouldn't it be weird if I met the League? Wouldn't that be, interesting? I shouldn't have said that, because the universe said, bet, you want to die? And it sent me in the middle of... I gained consciousness in the middle of the fucking hideout. And I'm like, hey, yo, what the fuck? This place looks familiar. I was trying to go to My Hero. Where the fuck am I? It's in the style of My Hero. I'm here, but where the fuck am I? And then I hear Dobby. And I look behind me, I'm like, oh. I should go. I should go. And I tried to run. And then they caught me. And then they were trying to kill me. And I was like, no, you need me. And Shiggy was like, why do you think we need you? What do you mean? What do you mean we need you? Huh? Like, I know things. I can see the future. And he said, bullshit. And then fucking Magnate came out and was like, what are we doing? Who are we killing? I was like, you're alive? You're alive still? Listen. Okay, you cannot believe me now, but I'm gonna warn you about this, because don't let her go after the man in the bird mask. Don't let her go after Overhaul. Heed my warning, please. I don't want her dead. And then I left. My clone survived. I trusted that bitch was gonna survive. Next time I went there, next time I went there, I was on the streets again. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm gonna go explore, actually this time, and not deal with anyone. I don't really feel like talking to people. And their Hawks was with Endeavor. Now, I don't know if it's just Endeavor's face or what, but why does he look like that? Why do you look like... Hawks comes up behind me with Endeavor. Introduces us. This man looks like he's about to whoop my ass. I'm like, who? We were talking for a while before there's just a crash, boom, and debris goes flying past me. I almost got hit. But Hawks is like, oh, we gotta deal with that. Bye, sweetie. Bye. And he left, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do what I originally planned to do, which was not speak to anyone and just explore. Did not get the chance. You know why? Because out of fucking nowhere comes the League of Villains. What I mean by that is I was walking and I caught a glimpse of Shiggy staring at me from the fucking alleyway. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. I don't feel like dealing with that. Walk across the street. My first mistake was thinking, oh yeah, it's just Shiggy. It's just Shiggy here. He definitely didn't bring the rest of them. He did. He did, in fact, bring the rest of them. Because I crossed the street, and I didn't notice Dobby and Twice in the next alleyway. They had planned for me to... They really thought of everything. They said, oh, well, if this bitch sees Shiggy, then that bitch is going to cross the street. So, one of us is going to be waiting here, and the others are going to be waiting over there. But Dobby grabbed my ass. And they kidnapped me to basically be like, you were right. You were right. Agne's dead. And you're staying with us. Because you're going to be a very valuable asset. And from that point on, I was stuck with the League. Now, some other shit happened. Because, like, I went home after that. Because I was like, I cannot deal with all of this. This is too much. I'm going home. So I went home, right? Came back here. And I just had to sit on it for a while. And I decided to go back. And we ended up drinking. We did. I went back and we ended up drinking. And having a little dance party. And by that, I mean, we had the radio on. We were just dancing around in circles. And I was hand in hand with Toga. We were spinning around. And this bitch looked like she wanted to eat me. She looked like she was about to take a bite. So I threw her there twice. And I'm like, nope. Nope. And then I saw Dobby. And keep in mind, I had called this bitch out for being Toya because he was fucking with me. He was being a dick, and I'm like, I know you're Toya Todoroki. So if you don't want me to blow your cover, you're gonna shut the fuck up. And he shut the fuck up. But he was really mad at me for like a while there. So I walked up to him like, Dobby, why don't we dance? You know, like, you look so grumpy over here. Loosen up, have some fun. That man gave me the dirtiest look. And I was like, never mind, I'm gonna go find Shiggy. Bye. And I went and I found Shiggy, and we were just, like, sitting for a while, and we were just talking. And then he ended up kissing me, and I thought he, like, because, like, I was doing the depression thing. We were trauma dumping together. And he ended up kissing me. I thought he did that anime thing where you, like, kiss somebody to shut them up. I didn't think he liked me. My bad, man. I'm dumb and autistic. I'm sorry. I left a little bit after that. Like, I fell asleep there, and I was like, I'm gonna go back to my original reality, you know, before I went to bed. And I came back here, and I'm like, that was interesting. That was fun. Not thinking anything of the fucking kiss, and like, funny, haha. He gave me a big fat smooch. Lol. You idiot. You fucking moron. When I came back, it was just me and Dobby in the hideout. So I decided, now's the time. I'm gonna apologize for being an asshole. So I came up to him and I was like, hey, Dobby, you know, like, I don't want you to be mad at me anymore. And I, like, kind of feel bad for acting like that. So, like, I'm sorry that I threatened you like that. And this man smirks and gets up and, like, pins me against the wall. And I'm like, oh. And he said, I like a woman that puts me in my place. How about I put you in yours? I left. Like, I literally shifted away. I'm like, no. What the fuck? You're coming on a little bit strong. A little bit wild. Damn. And then I decided to go back and actually go through with it. I'll tell that story on my Patreon, too. That happened, and I didn't go back for a while because I ended up shifting into Hunter x Hunter. completely by accident. Like, I was trying to go to My Hero, and the universe said, nope, you're going to that new anime you're watching. You're gonna have fun there. And I did. But we can get into that another time. I didn't go back there for, like, a hot minute. And when I did, getting chased down by Shigaraki. Like, I got there, and, like, they were all talking. And I joined in, and we were having a nice conversation for a while. And then Shigaraki came in and was like, oh, damn. I'm glad you're here. And it wasn't like a normal hi, hello. It was threatening. And I was like, and Dobby's like, you should run. I found out later that they had a conversation. Well, they had an argument. And Dobby ended up throwing it in his face that we had been fucking around. And Shiggy didn't like that. Because he thought we were a thing. He thought I knew that he liked him. That he liked me. He thought I knew that he liked me. And that I was, like, cheating on him or something. Sir, please, I'm stupid. And I booked it. I fucking booked it. Thus begins my long string of running away from things I'm not enjoying. He chased me all the way to the Nomu pin. I don't know how he didn't grab me before then. But I made it to the Nomu, the Nomu containment areas. And I locked him out for a short period of time. I managed to barricade the door, and I hid behind a fucking Nomu tank. And some boxes. And obviously, I'm not stupid enough to, like, hide where you can, like, see me easily, okay? Like, I grew up in the public school system in America. I know how to hide. I am so sorry. No, but in all seriousness, though, I was hiding, and this motherfucker breaks in. He breaks the door in, and I'm like, and I'm still huffing and puffing, and I'm, like, trying to, like, keep it quiet. I'm like, girl, you are breathing so heavy. Of course he fucking found your ass. And he pointed that shit out, too. He's like, you know, the best part about you running away from me is I can hear you breathing. It went quiet for a while, and his footsteps stopped. Bro, I wanted to cry. I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna get dusted. I did not. I didn't get dusted. However, I hear from directly above me, I found you. And I look up, and we made eye contact. I'm like, no. I started booking it, and he tackled me to the ground. He's like, why would you sleep with Dobby? I'm like, ah! What are you talking about? Why do you care? And he's like, because I like you. And I'm like, how was I supposed to know that? And he's like, I literally kissed you. And I'm like, I thought you were just trying to shut me up. And he's like, why would I kiss you if I was just trying to shut you up? And I'm like, I don't know. I thought maybe we were having a fan fiction moment. The fact that he knew what fan fiction was, and I didn't have to explain myself any further. Anyway, Shigaraki reads fanfiction confirmed. And he was so done with my ass. He's like, you know what? Tonight I'm gonna show you who you belong to. And that's another story for the patrons in a different video. Like, sir? And I went back there a few more times for horny reasons. But, like, that's another story for the patrons. And after that, I like, stopped going to My Hero because I started going to Hunter x Hunter. And I just, like, wasn't as into... I just wasn't as into My Hero anymore because, like, the fan base is really toxic, and I'm like... And also, like, my interest in My Hero comes and goes in, like, little flashes. But that's where I would, like, conclude the beginning of, like, how I even, like, got into it, like, into shifting. Because, like, a lot of people were shifting to My Hero, and obviously, I got a little bit into it, too. I'm like, hell yeah. My Hero Academia. It's the end of the video. Conclusion, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm an idiot, and I get myself into too much trouble. If you would like to support me financially and, like, get extra perks, videos early, seeing my art, you could subscribe to my Patreon. You could subscribe, please, I have debts to pay. I have debts to pay, y'all. Only if you can afford to do that, though. Alright, like, if it's life or death, if it's the money that you have to put food on your table, or, like, pay your own bills, don't. But, you know, like, if you can, feel free to. I also do art commissions. So, if you can't do, like, monthly payments, you could just do a one-time transaction with me for some art. If I'm smart, I'll put up my little commission sheet over here. This is a reminder for myself when I'm editing. Yeah, that's the end of the video. Bye!